Hello, and welcome to Syberia. It doesn't look like it, I know. The game is a little bit janky. I mean, it's 1999. I was able to launch it. It looks like this only because I am changing the windows and it doesn't really appreciate that. But I can run it in full screen in a 4:3 aspect ratio. So, 1999, I guess. The game does take a very cozy place in my heart because I played a lot the second chapter when I was a kid, and the game has a very nostalgic meaning for me. So I decided, how about we revisit this wonderful, insane story and yeah, check it out together. So I hope that you can see that when I press some buttons, when I interact with the game, you can see all the the interface, the actual interactive elements. You can see them well, and when the animations are playing, so it's also fine. So I hope that when I do not switch the window and I will just press the new game, stuff will work. So let's check it. Well, hello there. Yes, I believe you can see everything. I wonder, yeah, you can see, so there is a game cursor and there is my cursor, so
I really don't have the strength to take this suitcase any further. I wonder who can help me.
dialog notebook, Kate and help. We also have our cell phone, some personal file, we can consult or take, and we have the menu. Return to the game. So we saw some kind of a funeral procession, right? With the name Anna. Welcome to Valadilene, the world capital of mechanical toys. Let yourself be transported by the Let yourself be transported by the magnificent landscape surrounding Valadilene, a small charming town tucked away in the Alps by the Voralberg manufacturing, whose exceptional savoir-faire in the specialized world of luxury mechanical toys and automatons is at the root of Valadilene's reputation around the world. For 800 years, the Vorarlberg family has passed its knowledge from generation to generation, perfecting the art of that particular branch of clockmaking that breathes life into the complex network of cogs and spindles that make up automatons. Its creative wonders once defied belief and drew the admiration of young and old alike. People would come from across Europe for a chance to to V for the right to own one of these fantastic toys. Unequaled savoir-faire. This passage is very complicated for me, I don't know why. At the heart of a mechanical automaton is its motor. A series of spindles are set in motion to music via a set of cogs. Attached to the spindles are cams that are shaped in the image of the music. In turn, they command a series of rods which control the gestures of the toy at their tips. Automaton construction takes place in three stages: modeling, mechanics, and casing. The process requires the participation of 20 different specialized trades. In its heyday, the Vorarlberg factory employed over 100 craftsmen, mechanics, watchmakers, sculptors, tailors, and dressmakers working in separate workshops. Vorarlberg automatons all have two distinguishing features in common: their high-precision mechanisms and the characteristic Vorarlberg wind-up key. Devising and assembling each model is a meticulous process. Standard toys are constructed from local wood, while the most sophisticated ones use more precious resources such as ebony imported from Madagascar. Despite competition from Asia, the Vorarlberg never gave in to the temptation to produce electrical robots and chose to continue their exploration of the mysteries of perpetual mechanical motion. The Vorarlbergs have come a long way from their simple jointed puppets of yesteryear. Today their creations are so lifelike one has the impression that they can think for themselves. The first signs of puppet manufacture in Valadilene go back to the 13th century. While there was maybe no definite puppet industry at the time, Hermann Vorarlberg's renown was recognized even in the court of the emperor. It was not until the 17th century that Charles Vorarlberg founded the Vorarlberg Mechanical Toy and Puppet Factory, and industrial activity in the valley really took off. The reputation of Valadilene and its famous toys then just kept growing and growing. The turn of the 20th century was Valadilene's golden age as expressed in the factory's impressive architecture and the main houses of the town. The Vorarlberg reputation crossed the oceans, dispatching its fine precision mechanisms across the globe to delighted buyers who began to believe that Vorarlberg automatons had a life of their own. Since the end of the Second World War, the destiny of the factory has been in the hands of Rudolf's daughter Anna Vorarlberg, the last and sole descendant of the prestigious line of craftsmen. This inspiring figure negotiated the business through the end of the war. She breathed new life into production by creating works of art to appeal to experts and enthusiasts alike. Vorarlberg automatons became rare collector's items with highly innovative mechanisms of unequaled ingeniousness even to this day. Ha! And we saw Anna's it was
I
Anna's
shouldn't leave my
funeral, right?
luggage here.
This is a little bit overcomplicated, is it not?
Okay, I'm coming.
Hi there.
Hello there, ma'am.
I would like a room. My company should have made a reservation in the name of Walker. The company is Marson and Lormont Associates. The name is Kate Walker.
Of course, Miss Walker. You are in room 6 on the next floor up.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Kate Walker and...
Of course. Walker, room 6.
Could you possibly take my luggage up, please?
Please do excuse me, Miss Walker. We have been neglecting our duties. Guests are so rare these days that we forget our manners. So you're the American woman? Is it true what people say, that you've come to buy the factory?
Not factory. Anna's house. Hans' house.
Excuse me?
Would you quiet down, you mischievous little boy? I imagine our little town must disappoint you. You see, today is very sad for us. It's a day of mourning. Today is the funeral of Miss Anna.
Momo sad, but
That's enough, Momo. Stop pestering the lady. Now go on, scram. Get out of here, you hear? What was I
Yeah,
saying? Oh, yes, Miss Anna.
one moment. Such a great loss for Valadilene. It really is, because now that she's dead, the factory will close, but you are here to stop that happening, aren't you? Our future is in your hands, Miss Walker.
What? Anna Voralberg is dead?
Here's your room. I hope you like it, Miss Walker. I'll leave you to rest for the time being. You must have a lot of work to do. You know, the takeover of the factory is very good news for us here. It would make us very happy to see life return to our valley. If only you had seen Valadilene before. It was delightful. People came from all over the world to buy Voralberg automatons. Ah, somebody has left you some mail, I see. Remember, if you need anything at all, we're not far away, Miss Walker.
Why, thank you. That should be the photo of the Charles, right? Okay, that's my... That's how you enter the apartment.
I don't need that for the time being.
For the time being, you say. Okay.
No need to go down there.
Yeah, if you say so. Okay, from Marson and Lormont Associates Law Practice. From Edward Marson to Kate Walker. Dear Kate, our client, the Universal Toy Company, what a genius name, right, is more than eager to see conclusions from the talks with Voralberg, with view to take over in the days to come, and we have received notification to this effect. We are counting on your undoubted qualities as a business lawyer to bring negotiations with Madame Anna Vorarlberg, the current owner, to a close. Allow me to remind you that the Universal Toy Company is a multinational which has a monopoly on the toy market. It is a Class A priority client who is also presenting Madame Vorarlberg with a golden opportunity to sell her factory. You should remind her of this fact in case she starts having last-minute second thoughts before signing the purchase agreement. I am under no doubt that you will live up to the great expectations I have in you, Edward Marson. Oof. 12458 902.
I should tell Marson about the death of Miss Voralberg. I hope this isn't going to get too complicated. I can't see myself staying here too long.
Ha! Remember these words.
Marson and Lormont, how can I help you?
Can you put me through to Mr. Marson, please? It's Kate Walker.
Hold the line, please.
Hello, Kate. So tell me, how's the case going?
She's dead.
I've just got to Valadilene, and there's a slight problem, Mr. Marson, I'm afraid. Mrs. Voralberg is dead.
Ah, that's most unfortunate. But I seem to remember we made provisions for just such a sad eventuality, and we know that there was no heir.
Yes, that's right, but...
So where's the problem, Kate? Contact the notary right away. I'll get my secretary to fax you his address and an introduction letter from the firm.
Very good, Mr. Marson.
Right, I gotta go, Kate. Keep me up to date, okay?
I just...
Can we talk to Mom, Olivia, and Dan? Whoever these people are? I mean, I know who Mom is, okay, so...
Baron Foster isn't around to take your call right now, so please leave your message after the tone.
Well, I guess we need a notary. And then the game is done, right? I mean, how complicated can it be?
No need to go down there. No need to go down. No need to. No need. No need.
Okay, no need means no need. Okay, I will not pester you anymore. Ah, the animations. It's like, you know, this un this unique feeling of the old quests when you just like, yeah, these animations are so janky that it must be like the game from the 90s.
I'm back again.
Miss Walker?
Hello.
Of course.
A fax didn't arrive for me, did it?
Maybe. I thought I heard the phone ring.
Do you think you might want to go and check?
Certainly, ma'am. Immediately.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you don't even need to go far. Come on, man. Put some effort. I'm an important guest here. I'm in a business. Dear Alfolter, as you are no doubt aware, our practice is charged with undertaking negotiations for the takeover of the Voralberg manufacturing by our client, the Universal Toy Company. It is with great sadness that we learn of the recent death of the manager and owner of the factory, Madame Voralberg, with whom negotiations had started. We are under no doubt that Madame Voralberg left you instructions before her death, enabling this sale to be concluded. We should remind you of the significant boost the arrival of the American multinational would bring to the economy of your region. It is for this reason that I am sure you will give our representative, Miss Kate Walker, a warm welcome. Yours faithfully, Edward Marson.
Thank you.
At your service.
Could you tell me where I can find a notary here in Valadilene by the name of Alfolter?
We only have one notary here, and his house is easy to recognize. You can't miss it.
Could you tell me...
We only...
I think I'm going to need your...
Are you leaving already?
No, I'm not leaving.
We would love to help, but just think what would happen if the telephone rang, or if a fax arrived. Or if a...
It's okay. The young boy who was here earlier talked about, Hans. Who is Hans?
Momo was talking about Hans Voralberg, Anna's younger brother. But he died a long time ago. Nobody here even met him.
The young boy who was...
You can only mention these topics once. Is that correct?
Who was the boy who was drawing here earlier? Is he your son?
Heaven forbid. No, not at all. He's not a bad boy, no. Momo is just a little simple, that's all.
What is his connection with Anna Voralberg?
Momo is what you'd call the village idiot, and Anna took him under her wing. He must have reminded her of her younger brother, no doubt. And birds of a feather stick together, don't they?
You're implying that Anna Voralberg was a little bit slow as well?
Heaven forbid. No, not at all. She was a real loner. She kept to herself, that's all.
I just love all these little mechanical robots. I've noticed there are tons of them here in Valadilene.
Be careful what you say. Voralberg automatons are not robots. If you want people to like you here, never ever pronounce the word robot.
Okay. What is the difference between an automaton and a robot, then?
Well, to tell you the truth, no one really knows.
Did you know Anna Voralberg yourself?
Oh, why, of course I did. I mean, well, not really. She was a very great lady. We loved her very much. May she rest in peace.
Did you know...
Oh.
I'm gonna go look around Valadilene. See you later.
As you like, miss.
See ya later.
No need to go down...
Oh Christ, we're gonna hear this line for quite some time, right?
Good morning. Are you open? Can I buy something from your bakery?
No, afraid not. Not possible. We're closed.
I can wait a while.
You can wait, but we're closed all day. Day of mourning.
I'm sorry. Please accept my condolences.
Don't worry about it. Because of Madame Voralberg's death, all the shops are closed. Mayor's decision. Try tomorrow.
Tomorrow I won't be here. That's a pity.
Maybe you need to be more careful with what you're saying. Do you have a plan if the Notary is closed? I'm just asking, you know. The Valadilene Gazette, Wednesday, April 17th, 2002. Morning. The loss of the Queen of our hearts. Let us pay homage today to Anna Voralberg, who died peacefully yesterday at the age of 86. The great lady devoted her life to her business and our community. This formidable woman had an extraordinary energy, a force that allowed our automaton technology to develop and to make our valley continually proud. Her vitality was matched by her generosity and goodness, which has marked all of Valadilene's inhabitants. The mayor of our town has declared that today would be a day of collective mourning in honor of Madame Voralberg. Her funeral will take place this morning at 10 a.m. in the parish church, officiated by the town's own priest. Ecology. The protest group Mountain Peace demonstrated yesterday near the site of the new S-Pit Dam. They claim the construction of the dam has damaged the blue warble's natural habitat. Intervention on the part of the forest ranger was necessary to disperse the demonstrators. Editorial. Anna Voralberg's death marks the end of an era in Valadilene. Madame Voralberg was an outstanding woman who presided over Voralberg manufacturing for more than 50 years. Her death seems to bring further loss in its wake, sounding the death knell of our automaton factory, the economic heart of our town. It is impossible to view her passing without concern for the future of our valley. In the last decade, computers, video games, and electronic robots have become predominant in our consumer society, rendering traditional clockwork mechanisms obsolete. The age of the wind-up toy is over. Such technology cannot compete in the modern economic climate and has fallen by the wayside. It would have been definitely consigned to oblivion if Voralberg Manufacturing had not upheld its renowned savoir-faire, helping Valadilene to remain economically active. However, today the industry has lost its spiritual force and the future looks bleak. Maybe the time has come to celebrate a prospective American takeover of the factory, but what will be the cost to the soul of Valadilene? Bruh. Well, I'm just doing business, right? So...
This thing's jammed.
What the hell? Well, I guess that's an invitation to come in. What can I take there?
I should talk to the notary first.
Yeah, okay. I can approve something. Okay. That does not sound exactly legal, but I mean, nobody guards it, right?
Hello, sir.
Miss Walker, I presume. Have you had a good journey?
Everything went very smoothly. Thank you.
Do take a seat, Miss Walker, please.
I imagine you are aware of the business that brings me here.
Of course. I was waiting for you.
I am the legal representative for the Universal Toy Company. I'm responsible for...
So I understood, Miss Walker. Miss Walker, I am afraid that the sale of the Voralberg factory is not as straightforward as it first seemed.
Whoa there. Everything was agreed. We'd obtained Anna Voralberg's consent, and her death does absolutely nothing to invalidate that. Now, I have to be back in New York the day after tomorrow, Metro Alphoter. My client and I are impatient to seal this deal.
I understand only too well, Miss Walker. There is an heir, Miss Walker.
Excuse me? An heir? But Madame Voralberg never married, as far as I know. And in my last conversation with her, she absolutely never mentioned this detail.
Miss Walker, believe me, I was more surprised than you are. Anna Voralberg sent me a letter 2 days before she died. Understand, Miss Walker, that had I known about this earlier, I would have informed you. I shall read you the document in my possession. I am so very old. It seems that today life is slipping away from me more quickly than I imagined, and I fear that I will not be of this world to sign the takeover contract for my dear factory. So, I must make this confession to you now. My brother, Hans, is still alive. It would not surprise me if you find this difficult to believe, but it is indeed the truth. You must remember his death, his funeral, too, even though you were very young at the time. It was but a sordid charade dreamt up by our father. To him, the very idea that his only son should wish to leave Valadilene and abandon the family business was unbearable. When Hans left, he preferred to think him dead and make everybody else believe this too. He obliged me to bear this terrible secret as well. I repeat that Hans is still alive, so when I die, it is he who becomes the sole and rightful heir of our factory.
Okay, I see. If Hans Voralberg is not dead after all, then I just have to sign the contracts with him. I suppose you've already contacted him? Where can I reach him?
The second half of the letter informs us that Hans Voralberg is somewhere in Syberia. I will leave the document in your hands to read at your leisure.
And here you have it, folks. This is why it's called Syberia. I have never had the chance to see my dear brother again. Fortunately, though, Hans and I have remained very close in thought. Throughout the years, I have been able to follow his meandering life as he sporadically sent me news. On occasions he would write me letters, but they were rare, as my brother, since his unfortunate accident, has maintained a phobia for the written word. However, he has sent me several plans of automatons that I eagerly had made up at the factory, and I will admit that they have largely contributed to the success of Voralberg creations. Hans has always had a marvelous gift of breathing life into objects through clever combination of cogwheels and springs. My little brother is a genius in the true sense of the word. Let us return to the matter in hand. Rest assured of my personal conviction that my brother will not object in the slightest to the sale of the factory. If I have already passed away when you come to read this letter, it is to him that the matter should be addressed. I received his last letter 6 months ago, posted from the north of Syberia. I regret to say that I have received no more recent news. I am aware of the difficult situation in which my confession and lack of further details leave you, but I wish to die with a clear conscience. I would be grateful, dear Matter of Altair, if you could inform the American law firm with whom I have been dealing of these developments. I have grown so old, so tired. With all my respect and final greeting, Anna Voralberg.
Anna Voralberg had no further information to add?
Unfortunately not, Miss Walker. I have told you as much as I know. The situation, in legal terms, is now clear. If you want to conclude this sale, you have to find Hans Voralberg. Apparently, there is a body lying in the town cemetery. There also seems to be some ghost wandering around Syberia. It seems you have your work cut out for you. Believe me, Miss Walker, when I say that I am most sorry for this regrettable setback. Most sorry.
Great. What now, then?
Perhaps you will find out more in the Voralberg factory archives. You will find the key in the waiting room. My role in this affair finishes here with the reading of this letter. And now, if you'll excuse me, I must rest. You see, my health is not excellent at the moment, and my doctor forbids me from working for too long. I will not detain you for any longer, Miss Walker. Do not forget to close the door as you go out.
Goodbye, sir.
Yep. Anything else I can do here?
No need to go.
Can I discuss
Oh,
him
no.
with him something else? No, apparently not. The key. There should be a key. Is that the key? How do you shove it? I don't know. I don't want to know. At what moment my cursor turns into the game one? This is interesting, is it not?
Hello?
Kate?
Dan, I'm so pleased to hear your voice.
How are you, honey? Did you have a good journey? Have you settled in?
It was long, tiring, damp especially, but I'm okay. Especially when you...
Everything going as planned?
Yeah, I mean, well, not really. It's not exactly what I thought it would be. You know, everything's so different here.
Actually, while we're on the subject, I managed to free myself up tomorrow lunchtime. I'll come and meet you at the airport. I hope the flight from Paris won't be delayed. We're expected at the Goldbergs about 8 o'clock. I hope you have the time to take a shower and change, my poor honey bun.
Dan,
Ew,
I don't
honey
think the
bun.
Goldbergs tomorrow night is really on.
Don't worry, Kate. You'll be as perfect as ever. Anyway, you never have to wear much to look really great.
Dan, I'm going to have to extend my stay here. There's 1 or 2 complications. You understand?
Kate, honey, what are you talking about? It's only a measly toy factory.
The sale isn't going through as expected.
The
I've got to
audacity
stay
to
a
say
bit
that.
longer. Dan, you don't mind, do you?
But Katie, you can't do this to me. I mean, it's the Goldberg contract. There's millions of dollars on the line here.
I know, I'm sorry. You go ahead. Don't worry about me. I'll get back as soon as I can, I promise. Okay, I've got to go. I'll call you back soon. Love you, honey.
Do we need to inform the office about this development, by the way? Let's try to reach them.
You have reached Martin and Walmart Associates.
Okay, lines are busy, you're saying. Okay, if it is what it is. Okay. I need factory archives, right? Well, that seems like a factory. Voralberg. It also looked a bit abandoned. I guess it would make sense to place maybe archives on top, over there somewhere.
Yes, hello?
Kate, what happened to you, my poor munchkin? I've been trying to contact you for hours.
I'm in Europe, Ma. Job thing.
What? Europe? My God. Oh, I've got such happy memories of Europe. Some of them even involve your father, but that's enough of that. Tell me, where are you? Paris? London? Venice?
Valadilene. Yeah, I know. It's a bit out in the boonies.
What in the world are you doing out there?
You know, business. I've got to see through the takeover of some old family business that's got a few debts. It's a really charming place, but there's 1 or 2 weird things going on here. I can't go into it now.
Oh, well, that's right. Your old mother's too dumb to understand it. You really do take after your father sometimes.
It's not what she said.
Mother.
Kate, you'll never guess who I saw yesterday?
I don't want to guess.
I haven't got a lot of time, you know.
Frank!
Ma, please. I've got to go.
Frank Malkovich, the Russian opera singer. Well, maybe you don't remember him. He was quite a star in his day.
Listen, Ma, I really don't have the time. I'll call you back.
He is as charming as he always was. We spent the...
Mom, I really have to go. I'll call you back, I promise. Lots of love.
Kate!
Okay, what the hell? This thing is moving. This is not an archive, right? So maybe I shouldn't meddle with this thing. Okay, that slightly reminds more of an archive. Okay. And why did I take that?
This thing's jammed.
Nothing else I can do here, right? Music cylinder. Any explanation why I might need one? Okay. That looks like a train. Oh, it looks like a locomotive. Okay, let's be more precise over here, shall we? Recovery of outstanding payments. Madam, you will have received several warnings from my office concerning penalty charges incurred on unpaid invoices from the company La Colombe. The total debt of which you are responsible currently stands. Okay, that's that. Okay. That's that. Gustave Passeri. Certain procedures against your company situation if I'm particularly painful given the special you yourself admitted that for some time has become a financial liability and I'm no longer able to underwrite your debts with the bank. I'm sorry to say that we are obliged to comply with the economic imperatives of the era. It is for this reason I beg you to accept the American investor's proposal.
Oh my gosh. Invoices, invoices, more invoices. I never knew the factory was in such a bad way financially. These last 2 years must have been very hard for Anna Voralberg.
Okay. 6th of March 2002. Dear Hans, I know how much you dislike the written word, but I do not have the time to forge your voice cylinder. I imagine that someone in your entourage will be kind enough to read these few lines for you. I received your latest set of plans. Your project is extraordinary. Your all-time masterpiece, perhaps. Time seems to have had no effect on your genius, quite the contrary. I am proud of you, my dear little brother. Sometimes I find it hard to believe that a century has gone by since the last time I saw you. It only seems like yesterday that you rushed away from Valadilene. We undertook production immediately following your instructions to the letter. The locomotive was ready within a week. If only you could see it. But you will see it. That much I have promised you. It is magnificent. It seems impatient to set out on its maiden voyage. There is only Oscar left to build. I hope I will finish him soon, but as you can imagine, his mechanism is complex and takes a great deal of time and handiwork. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand you wish me to bring you that cursed prehistoric doll, the very thought of which I wonder if it is... the very thought of which I wonder if it is still in the cave, and if it is, what state it is in. But what does 60 years matter after all to an object already several thousand years old? I'm going to find it, Hans, I promise you. I have a bit of a nasty flu at the moment, which is running me down a little. I should be better in a few days, though. The sale of the factory is taking shape. The lawyer from New York should be visiting, and we will be able to sign the contracts. Then I shall... And you shall what? Well, hello there.
Doesn't look like that. Doesn't look like that worked. Doesn't look like... Doesn't look... 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 If that's going to work...
Oh, I need to insert something in here, right? Okay. Well, how about we go and meet Oscar, shall we? Why is there no interaction at this moment? Are you not, like, questioning what the hell?
Oh, many thanks indeed. I am most embarrassed for you to see me like this. I lack a certain completion. You see, nobody here found the time to polish off the finishing touches. Honestly, these days, we really have lost the art of good workmanship.
Yeah, maybe.
With whom do I have the honor of speaking? Could you please state your identity, articulating clearly?
My name is Kate. Kate Walker.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Model XZ2000. My common name is Oscar. I represent the technological zenith of this factory's production. I have been designed to drive a locomotive. A touch messy, but an essential task.
Have you logged my first and last name?
Perfectly. Kate Walker. Pleased to meet you.
Me too, Model XZ2000.
Oh, please call him Oscar.
Please, all my friends call me Oscar. This fad for cryptic names is such a bore. Could you imagine being called by your passport number?
I suppose not, Mr. Oscar. Sir. Do you know where I could find the factory paperwork?
I cannot reply to this question with precision. Try Anna Voralberg's office above the machine floor.
So I assume that, yes, I missed something over there.
When you are complete and totally functional, can you help me gather information about Hans Voralberg?
I'm afraid I can't, Kate Walker. Duty calls. Once I've recovered my feet, I have to see to my post on the train. It's waiting for its engineer.
Does the name Hans Voralberg mean something to you?
Of course, he created me. but I'm sorry to say that I am yet to meet my maker.
Have you any idea where he might be right now?
No, Kate Walker, but I am sure I would experience great metaphysical satisfaction in his presence.
You said you were a train engineer? What train would that be?
But Kate Walker, you have not seen the magnificent train waiting at the station?
And
Nope.
where is that train going, Mr. Oscar?
The train is going far away. Very, very far away indeed.
Are you taking any passengers?
My duty is to drive the train. Above all, to avoid delays. An engineer prides himself on punctuality. I will agree with you, though, Kate Walker, that a train without passengers is hardly a train at all.
You haven't answered my question.
For further details, please consult Anna Voralberg.
Do you know Momo?
No, Kate Walker.
You are a very strange robot.
Automaton, if you please.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
Automatons have an additional soul auxiliary, you understand?
Huh?
I think so. Has it been a long time since you last saw Anna Voralberg?
72 hours, 32 minutes, and 20 seconds to be precise. This regrettable absence explains the delay in my production process.
Anna Voralberg is dead, Mr. Oscar.
What do you mean by the notion of death, Kate Walker?
Broken. Disactivated. Worn out. Damaged. Unplugged.
Oh, that really is most bothersome. I'd rather counted on finishing my production.
Can I be of use to you?
Why, you certainly can. I absolutely must have my feet. My hands are model XZ2003. My feet are model XZ2005_B. Be careful. The model XZ2005_A has evidenced some rather embarrassing performance failures.
Like bugs?
Automatons do not have bugs, Kate Walker. They simply display functional idiosyncrasies.
I'm sorry, I didn't know. What do I have to do to get you a pair of feet?
Use the assembly line to construct them. You will need a production punch card, on which is recorded my body design data. Here is my own punch card.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
Thank you, Kate Walker.
So I would guess that with this,
Oscar, I am delighted to have met you. See you again soon, I hope.
Yes, Kate Walker.
with this we can complete his feet, right? And it parks. Amazing. But you get the gist that it misses some source material, then it can deliver it to the assembly line, and then the assembly line can finish the legs. But did we miss some document or something in there? Let's go check it over again. So again, we have this thing.
This thing's jammed.
And it plays music. And only music. Not much I can do about it, so we gotta listen to the whole music. None of the books I can interact with them. None of the automatons on the side. So nothing that I can see. Not the portrait, not the books left or right. Something on the table, perhaps? Not these books. These things, well, we have read them.
Oh my gosh.
And we covered these things as well. So, again, don't know what we can do here. So let's go outside the factory and have a look what else do we have here. Maybe, okay, since he gave me a punch card, I assume not much will change if I insert it, right? Why can you not run here?
Doesn't look like that. Doesn't look. Doesn't look. Doesn't look. Doesn't look. Doesn't look.
Hmm? So clearly we miss more stuff. So let's head outside the factory and check it out. Now you can run here. Interesting. What do we have over here? We have something. We have a lever. Okay. I assume that it might be either the source material or something else essential to the production. What else do we have in here? Is that a train station? Looks train station-y, you know? Train à
No need
grande
to go down
vitesse.
there.
Somebody whistles. Question is who?
These shelves look as if they're made for valuable objects. These shelves...
Making a train? Especially like, look at the decor and everything. This clearly took a lot of effort and thought. You would just ignore me, right? I cannot speak to you or anything. The territory was closed, like how is he just chilling here? Oh, I found something. Okay, I guess. I don't see much more around here, so yeah, let's go somewhere else. Okay, that's an impressive house.
The door's locked, but I've still got to get in there.
Why? Do we know what kind of house is that? Do you see any description of this house?
I need a key.
It would certainly seem like it.
The door's...
Oh, hi there.
Good morning. You've got a magnificent garden here.
She's a bit creepy.
Oh, please don't talk about it. Since my gardener automaton broke down, there are weeds everywhere. You can't imagine how much work it takes me. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. We're not used to doing without our robot help here in Valadilene. But everybody says that we're going to have to get used to it.
Well, interesting that you use the word robot. Why do you use it? It is not a nice word in here, is it? Oh, hi there. You're just lying down in the sink? I can't complain, I guess. Now I guess we can use the key on this absolutely not a scary looking ladder. Yeah, that is absolutely safe gate. Anna. 1930th. Yesterday something terrible happened. I do not know who to turn to, who to talk to, so I have decided to write it down. You, dear diary, are now my confidant and sole guardian of my secret thoughts. Hans lies in the next room teetering between life and death, and I am terrified. Oh, the injustice of life. First Mama, then Hans. Please, dear Lord, don't take my little brother away as well. Hans made me promise to keep this a secret, but its burden is too heavy. I know I can tell you though, dear diary. We discovered a cave in the mountains, a marvelous cavern with ancient paintings on the walls. Only prehistoric man could have painted them because they were depictions of mammoths, which are prehistoric creatures as well. That much I know. I hate mammoths now. It's all because of them and because of that stupid prehistoric children's toy. Why, Hans? Or why did you try and take it? And why did I let you climb up there? It's my fault you are in a coma now. Hans, if you die, I do not know how I could ever forgive myself. Hans has still not regained consciousness. Father cannot sleep and Gertrude cries all day long. Outside the heat is suffocating, but inside the house is icy cold and dismal. I still have hope though. I know my brother, I know his strength, he will pull through. He never gives in. I cannot think of anything else but Hans. In all my waking and sleeping dreams, I hear his fall over and over. I see his head hitting the rock and his also pale face softening. I have taken refuge in the attic. It is the only place where I find any peace wrapped up in all my memories. 5 days have passed since the accident and Hans has still not opened his eyes. To see him like this is unbearable. Please, God, protect him. Take my life, not his. May 19th. I feel so desperate, so alone. I want to snuggle up in Father's arms, but I dare not. He is just so impassive. Oh, Hans, don't leave me here. It has happened. Hans has come back to life. He opened his eyes and uttered my name. My name. Do you realize? This is the happiest day of my life. I want to take to the streets and sing to proclaim my joy to the world. Thank you. Oh, thank you, God. How wonderful, how beautiful life is. Gertrude and I cannot stop breaking into uncontrollable fits of giggles. Hans even wolfed down his meal today. I knew he was tough, my little brother. Even father smiled at me today when he said good morning. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. I'm totally absorbed in Hans's recovery. I have scarcely 5 minutes to myself to return to my refuge and scribble down these words. It is very curious. Whether Hans is hungry, thirsty, or if he wants something, he cannot stop saying my name. He can't bear it when I leave him even for an instant. Gertrude thinks that I should move my bed into his room to help him sleep better. I hope that father will agree. Today was the first day that Hans has left the house. We went for a short walk in the garden, but Hans is still very weak. The doctor said we should be patient and shouldn't rush him. It is so hard though. I hope so much that life can return to how it once was. Hans has been out his coma for a month now. He still doesn't say much and has difficulty moving. He sits motionless for long periods of time, his eyes wide open as though lost in thought. I have often had to call his name several times before he reacts. Then he will smile, and when he does, the moment is magic for me and couldn't possibly be happier. I had to talk to him. The burden was too great. I asked Hans about the accident in the cave to find out what he could remember. He could utter only one word: mammoth. And his eyes glowed so strangely when he said it that he frightened me. I go back to school today, and for the first time in my life I'm dreading it. I'm afraid of leaving Hans alone. Despite Gertrude's kindness and attention, I have the impression that Hans is much less nervous when I'm there. While I was doing my homework yesterday evening, Hans crept up on me so quietly that he made me jump. He took a pencil and a blank sheet of paper and curiously he started drawing. It is the first time since his accident he has done anything but daydream. Hans scribbles almost obsessively. It is all he will do all day long. I feel it annoys father, nobody else understands, but I can see that Hans is trying to draw mammoths. Today is my birthday, and Gertrude has made me an apple pie, my favorite. But father has not returned home for lunch and Hans doesn't want to leave his room. The best present I could ever have is to see Hans back on the way to recovery. Snow is falling. It is so beautiful. The doctor visited to examine Hans. He seems happy that my little brother has fully recovered his faculties. It truly is a miracle. I don't understand why he doesn't talk more though. Why isn't he livelier, like he was before? It is Hans's birthday. Today he is 11 years old. I have the strangest of impression that actually he has lost 5 years rather than gained one more. The doctor has just left. I saw him whispering with father. Their serious expressions worried me awfully. What could they be hiding from me? I am grown up now. At the age of 15, you can understand everything. I am too scared to ask father what is happening. I have been thinking, and it seems to me that Hans's attitude isn't normal. The shock of the fall and his coma must have had much more serious effect than we first imagined. Hans, my dear brother, what is happening to you? I have discovered the truth. Hans is stunted, physically and mentally. I eavesdropped a conversation between the doctor, father, and Gertrude. Gertrude buried her tear-filled eyes in her apron, and father muttered the word retard under his breath. How could he say such a thing? It is Easter, and we are on school holidays. This means I can spend all day with Hans and protect him from father's permanent dark moods. He cannot accept the fact that Hans, his only son, will stay in this state forever. It is truly difficult to accept, but it is not Hans's fault. Mine maybe, but not Hans's. I don't know how to make father understand. He seems full of hatred for him. It is dreadful. I feel so powerless. 1 year. 1 year has gone by and it feels like an eternity. The situation shows no signs of improvement, neither in terms of Hans's mental health or father's attitude towards him. Extraordinary. Father has decided to take Hans to Paris for new tests. He says that only in the French capital will he find truly competent doctors. We must make Hans ready for the great expedition. No news from father and Hans, but I remain hopeful. I am sure they will take good care of my little brother. They have returned. Hans rushed into my arms and started crying. It took me a long time to calm him down and get him to sleep. Father is still as taciturn as he was before he left. The French doctors have confirmed the diagnosis. Hans will remain physically and mentally impaired. I am stunned. The summer is coming to a close. It has been less stifling than the last. The sun has put color in Hans's cheeks. When I look at him, I have difficulty imagining that he will not change. Father still says nothing and increasingly shuts himself away in his office at the factory. Gertrude tells me that love and faith triumph over any science. I lack neither, God be praised. Father took Hans to the factory this morning. Hans was so afraid that I accompanied them. Fortunately, Father said nothing. I failed to understand why he insisted on bringing him there. Father left for the factory with Hans once again this morning. I think he wants to persuade Hans that he could be useful for something. It is his way of resisting fate. For a month now, every morning, Hans has gone to work with Father at the factory. I'm not exactly sure what he does there, but he seems to enjoy it. I feel my brother's behavior has changed considerably. He is much less capricious. I could cry. Hans has made me a present, a small robot mammoth with a trunk that rises and falls. When Father saw it, he nodded his head in satisfaction. Both Gertrude and Father now have their own robot mammoths. Theirs are even more intricate and finely tuned. Little brother is not such a retard after all. Hans's mammoths now walk, raise their trunks, and wag their tails. It's incredible. I met the head of the factory workshop, Mr. Grips, this morning. He says that for a young lad of 12, Hans is very gifted. It is a shame he only makes elephants. Father and Hans were locked in a long discussion yesterday, or should I say Hans was locked in one of Father's long monologues. As it is inconceivable that Hans should go to school like other children, Father wants to take him on as a worker at the factory. However, Hans will have stopped making his own little devices. Hans's silence, his half-gaping mouth and staring eyes finally sent Father off in a rage. I tried to broach the subject with Hans. I suggested he should obey Father. Learning a craft at the factory is his one chance to do something constructive with his life. He's so gifted and takes so much pleasure in making automatons. He did look like he wasn't listening to me, but I know he'll think about what I said. It's not that Hans can't speak. It's rather that he doesn't want to speak. He uses the least possible words for communication, except with me, but he is still very economical with words. Incredible. Hans was not just satisfied with learning how the assembly line works, instead he has completely redesigned it. Father and Monsieur Grips are taking a serious look at his plans. Father has wanted to talk to me about my future since I passed my exams. He wants to send me to university because he says my intelligence is astounding. My heart was beating so loud. It is true, I do love studying, but I couldn't bear to be away from Hans. What a ghastly summer. I have been permanently torn between my desire to go to university and my refusal to leave my brother. I talked about it with Hans, but he said nothing. That same evening I found my own little mammoth broken. Oof. Hans had another fit of hysterics at dinner again. Father announced that Hans' new assembly line would soon be finished. However, they have removed the automaton parrots that shout orders as they were deemed superfluous. Hans was livid. He hurled his soup dish to the ground and stormed off to his bedroom. What will happen between the both of them when I am not here? Despite my scruples, I am finally leaving. Hans has not talked to me for a week. Father would not understand if I told him why I wanted to stay. My heart is so heavy. It is so strange to be home. I had never left home for such a long time before. Once we were alone, Hans did not stop talking. Words just leaped from his mouth. How we laughed at his excitement. He presented me with a delightful little ballerina to replace the mammoth, he told me. I was so touched that I started crying. I'm crying here. Distance has done nothing to harm the strong bond between us. It is strange to pick up this diary once more. 4 years later. At first my impulse was to tear it up, but I resisted and instead succumbed to my second desire, which was to write for a while. I am alone in my attic once more. I have been home for 2 months now, and after a summer spent living with the intense joy of being reunited with my brother, Hans has returned to the factory. Father has aged so, and Gertrude's arthritis causes her terrible pain. All in all, these last 4 years have been kind to Father and Hans. Their relationship is less tense. They still do not exchange much conversation, but they now have a thing in common. The factory. I am even beginning to feel a bit jealous. Silly, really. Hans hasn't changed. To help Gertrude, he has designed a totally automated kitchen, and Gertrude can't stop moaning at the wooden puppets. Oh, how I adore them. I went to go and see Father and Hans at work. I hadn't been to the factory for ages. It is strange how much it has changed. I was very curious to see them set about their tasks. I like Father's new office very much. Hans has a small workshop on the first floor, crammed with odds and ends, unfinished robots and designs, exactly as I imagined it, in fact. The factory is working very well. Orders for toys keep coming in, spurred on by the run-up to Christmas. When I was at the university and I said my name was Voralberg, people would ask me if I had any relation to the Valadilene factory. Now I know the effect that Hans's genius has had on the factory's renown. To make myself useful, I started helping Father set his papers in order. The most extraordinary thing of all is that for the first time ever I have the impression that the three of us form a real family. Hans never ceases to surprise me. Between home and the factory his behavior is so different. In his workshop he is serious, concentrated, and proper young man who keeps his eye on everything going on, constantly on the move and in control. One has the impression that each single toy is his very own infant. At home he turns back into a child once more and is either moody or a happy-go-lucky buffoon. The most wonderful Christmas of my whole life. Hans and I could not stop giggling, like children beneath Father's disapproving glare. I know that he was only pretending, really. Our hearts are so full of hope. Hans came to see me in my bedroom yesterday evening. I felt terribly awkward, terribly ill at ease. I might have guessed Hans wants to leave. Leave Valadilene. The house and the factory, he wants to go traveling. He doesn't know where to or for how long. That's just like him. I was so shocked that I told him his plans were foolish. He left my room without a word. His head bowed. I thought he wanted to leave because of Father. Not at all. It's because of the mammoths. He wants to go tracking mammoths. I thought he had gotten over his obsession. I know my brother only too well. I wouldn't dream of telling him his quest is useless, it isn't worth it. He will not listen to reason. I was so selfish the other evening. I returned to talk to Hans and asked him gently if he was sure of his decision. I already know what the reply is going to be. Nothing will make him change his mind. Despite my profound sadness and despair, I must help Hans fulfill the destiny he has chosen and announce the news to Father. I fear the worst. The worst was worse than my fears. Father's anger was terrifying. He shut Hans away in his workshop at the factory and has forbidden all visits except from Gertrude, who feeds him. Father has decided that Hans should remain locked up for as long as it takes him to abandon his infantile decision. Gertrude tells me that Hans is very despondent yet highly resolute. The worry is driving me mad. As soon as Gertrude returns from the factory, I hasten to get news of my little brother. He doesn't say anything, he just fiddles with bits and pieces, she replies every day with a sigh. I have tried desperately to reason with Father, but I know I am just wasting my breath. Hans is 18 years old today, and he is all on his own for his birthday. In secret, Gertrude delivered to me a small robot from Hans. It's a robot of us as children. It works with a small cylinder punched with tiny holes. I quivered with emotion as I turned the key. The message it gave was simple. He was telling me he loved me. Very, very much. Gertrude gave me a different tiny cylinder for today's toy. Hans is truly incredible. He has found a means of communicating between us and us alone in total secret. My days are spent eagerly awaiting Hans's messages. He has now resolved to run away. He is preparing his escape, like if it was a game. Gertrude has returned and she is beside herself. Hans has disappeared. Father has not even deigned to return to the workshop where he locked up his son, nor find out how he managed to escape. He just gave me a black look as if he knew we were up to something behind his back. It is beginning to dawn on me that Hans has gone. I miss him so much. Ward, please protect my little brother and watch over him for me. With Hans gone, Father now locks himself away night and day at the factory. The house is so gloomy now. The morning I caught Father in the drawing room installing a coffin on the trestle. The sight of it made my blood freeze. What on earth is he up to? My questions meet only with stony silence and a permanent black countenance. Behind closed curtains, the drawing room with the coffin surrounded by huge candles has become a veritable funeral chamber. This is ghastly. I have just understood what Father is up to. This morning the priest came to pray before the coffin and I finally caught on. Father is in mourning for the death of Hans. Father made the priest believe that his son was dead. How could he do such a thing? In the madness occasioned by his grief, my father grows ever more cold and calculating. He contacted his old friend, Dr. Schmoll, who duly drew up a bona fide death certificate without even seeing the body. I dare not imagine what yarn he spun. Hans's funeral will be officially held next Sunday. Father strictly forbade me to attend. This sordid masquerade makes me feel ill, but I cannot denounce the subterfuge or else I will display my father's mental instability to the world. The shame would kill him, that much is certain. I have to get away. Far, far away. No, I will not leave. I have thought long and hard. My life is here, next to my father. He needs me too much now. The factory needs me because father is incapable of running it now. Besides, I can only find peace of mind again among Hans's robots. And how shall I know when he has sent me new ones if I am not at home to receive them? No, I shall not leave. My destiny is to remain here and keep watch. Crapshoot. Oh, that was quite a big diary. Ugh. Um. The hell?
Mamas. You draw mamas for Momo?
Ah, Momo, it's you. You scared me.
What's the point of turning on the light if I don't see anything specific in here? Interesting. Now, before we have a talk with Momo, I feel like it's a good point to make a stop. We arrived in Valadilene, right? We realized that our task is much more difficult than we hoped it would be. We have discovered a wonderful factory, XZ2000, named Mr. Oscar. And we learned what was happening in the household previously. So I think it's a very nice, sizable chunk of exposition for us to digest. And I would like to say thank you for staying with me. I hope you enjoy my company and my gameplay. And if that is the case, then please leave me a like and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, let me know down in the comments what I can improve for you. I hope to see you next time. Have a nice day out there. And bye.